Do you want to connect more easily with people and have more friendships, better friendships, closer friendships? If so, in this video, you're going to discover 3 tips on exactly and specifically how to do that. Very specific strategies that you can use today. Speaking of that, if you're benefiting from this video and other strategies I share about how to become the most confident, free, bold version of you, then click down below and subscribe to this channel. Turn on that bell notification so that you can get those videos as soon as they come out. Because the more of these that you watch, the more confident you're going to become and the more that you comes out into the world, which benefits everybody. Okay, so let's talk about how to connect with others. The first thing when it comes to connecting with others is you need to shift from being the passenger to being the driver when it comes to, well, really all areas of your life, but specifically your social life. And all the people that I coach and teach in my events and mastermind group and stuff, I call it being the captain of your ship. Because if you're sort of passively waiting for other people to lead, to make things happen, especially in your social life, probably not much is going to happen. And this is so simple and so obvious, and yet it makes all the difference. And I remember, this went way back when for me, when I was 11 or 12, and I started developing stronger social anxiety. I became very passive. I went to a new school, and I would see people that were like different groups of friends. When I was probably 12-ish, maybe or so, I started to be interested in girls in the class that I was in. And I didn't go interact with those people, those friend groups, and I didn't go interact with girls, especially the ones I was attracted to. Why? Because I was scared. I was shy. I had social anxiety. They're not going to like me, right? So I'm doing that. And then what am I doing? I'm waiting for them to come to me. And they didn't. And maybe they don't for you. I don't know. You got to have something really going for you. Like you're just like incredibly, ridiculously good looking. Look at this. People weren't even coming to this. You got to be crazy good looking to be better looking than me, right? No, but it just, passivity, it rarely will get you the results that you want. You got to have some freakish luck. For the most part, though, we make our own luck. We create our own fate. We step into the unknown. We take action and we go after what we want. And I didn't know that at that age. So what happens is more and more years pass by and I just think, oh, they're not approaching me. I guess there's something wrong with me. And you might have that story too. And the reason I'm focusing on this in this video is because if you're not aware of that story, it will become an invisible force that's a cage that stops you from taking the actions that you're going to learn in this video. You're just going to say, well, that makes sense, I guess, but you won't do it. Why? Because it bumps up against the edge of that cage. And the cage says, don't go out there. People aren't going to like you. You're not good enough. You can't do this. So you got to blast through that. That's the first step, is to be able to break through that cage. And this video, I want to focus on the tactics of what you do as you take the actions. But if you want to get more support in breaking through that cage, check out, well, there's so many resources, but check out draziz.com. You can get my 5 steps to unleash your inner confidence mini course for free there. You can also learn about Confidence University there. We have a course inside of Confidence University called the Ultimate Confidence Foundation, where we unleash your boldness. So you got to be able to take that action and challenge that story. And then what you got to do is get into the driver's seat and go on offense. That's the first step to creating this. What does that mean? That means thinking about right now in your social life, right now in your network, right now where you live, in your workplace, wherever it is, whether you're remote or whatever, think about where are humans that I can communicate with? And because what I've discovered is during pandemic COVID times, a lot of clients and people I work with and stuff will say, well, I can't do anything now. I work remotely. And I'm like, did you have close friendships before this all started? No. Okay. All right. So we're using that as an excuse because here's the thing. I've made new friendships during this last 2 years. I know people that have made friendships. Clients of mine have made new friendships. Clients of mine have moved to new cities, started new relationships, gotten married, all in the last 2 years during all this craziness. So if they can do it, why not you? The difference isn't the environment. The difference is, are you in the driver's seat? And you say, you know what? I'm going to approach those people. And so think about your social life right now and think about both virtually and in person. Because maybe there's someone you remote work with and you see them on a screen, but hey, maybe your friendship starts on phone calls, right? You adapt to the time that you're in. And so think about who in my life right now is potentially someone I could move towards. And that might mean an email, that might mean a text, that might mean a phone call, right? So just start to think that I know, and I've done this exercise with clients, there's always some people in their world. You don't like know zero humans, right? You know somebody. So start to think about that. That's the first step, is to get on offense and think about who you might approach. The second thing is to approach them assuming that they're going to be interested. Because if you approach people from this negative social anxiety identity, it's kind of like, I'm sorry, do you want to hang out with me? Right? And it's kind of like energetically not desirable, and you imagine you're not desirable. You got to just scrap all that. Say, you know what? I'm going to approach people as if they're going to be interested in hanging out with me. And then the third key point, when you shift that, is to make it easy for people. Because I see this all the time. People are like, hey, so you want to hang out sometime? That could work. But people might say, yeah, totally, cool, great. And then nothing happens. And what's much more, I used to do this back when I first started attempting to date. This is what I would do. If I ever worked up the courage to talk to a woman, it would be like, okay, it's going well. Like, hey, so maybe what's your number? We can go do something sometime. And it's not being in the driver's seat. It's not a leadership move. To create the connections that you want, you need to be the leader. And leadership doesn't mean you have you're the president of the company or something. Leadership is just how you approach your life. You could be a leadership in your social life, a leader. What does that mean? That means that you guide people towards something. So I remember I worked with a client who went from very few friends and not the right friends and very lonely to being literally the hub of a big social group. And that's what he wanted. Not everyone wants that. You don't have to want that. Maybe you just want 3 or 4 close friends. I'm more of that style than being the hub of a big group, but he really wanted that. He was truly very extroverted and outgoing underneath this shell of fear and social anxiety. So for him, that was the best thing to do. And so he became the hub of this big social group. And how did he do that? I remember I was interviewing about that, and he said, well, I realized asking people, do you want to hang out sometime, didn't really work that well. So what I started doing is making plans and inviting people to those plans. So he'd say, hey, we're going to go grab drinks at such and such place on Friday. Do you want to come? And he would say that to 4 or 5 people or more or whatever. And I was like, what if only one of them came? And he's like, well, then I would have a great one-on-one conversation with that person. And he's like, that did happen sometimes. And what if nobody came? He's like, well, that never happened. But if it did, then I would just, I guess, meet people there or go home. Right? And then what if multiple people come? Well, now you got something cooking. So what he did there is he gave a very specific thing of, this is what I'm going to do. This is what we're going to do. Do you want to be a part of it? And that's a much more powerful leadership way to bring people into your world rather than, hey, you want to hang out sometime? Maybe you should come up with what it is and tell me, and then I'll follow you there. Right? It doesn't work. It's not nearly as powerful. Okay. So what are you finding most valuable from this video? What are you going to apply? What are you going to implement? What are you going to do today? Because if you watch this and you're like, neat, then nothing's going to change. You got to watch this video and take immediate, instant action. So share down below in the comments what immediate, instant action you're taking. And if you want more support, more guidance, more coaching, definitely check out Confidence University or even directly coaching. I run small groups. I run longer term groups, shorter term groups. You don't have to do this alone. Best way to check that out is go to draziz.com. Check out the coaching tab. Check out the products tab where Confidence University is. I got you. We got you. There's a big community of people here that can support you in becoming free from social anxiety, free to connect and create beautiful experiences in love and relationships, socially, at work, and everywhere in your life. Thanks for being with me today. Until we speak again, may you have the courage to be who you are and to know on a deep level that you're awesome.